Ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned in the previous segment, tonight, Newsmax TV will be presenting to you a huge programming undertaking. And it's going to be hosted by our friend John Bachman. Dick Morris will be there. Alan West will be there. And we'll speak to Alan a little bit later on in the show. Starts at 8:50 p.m. Eastern Time right here on Newsmax TV, newsmaxtv.com if you want to tell your friends. It's going to preview the State of the Union. John Bachman will for 10 minutes. Then the State of the Union will be streamed live. And then for a half hour afterwards, you get the insight, the analysis from Bachman, Morris, and West. I say Bachman's name first. Later on, I'll say West, Morris, and Bachman when John's not here. But John's here now, so let's welcome him in and say hello. Hey, John.
How you doing, Steve?
Good to talk to you. So you excited?
We're very excited about tonight. We're very excited to have Lieutenant Colonel Alan West joining us, former congressman as well. Dick Morris joining us a little bit later on the show. He'll break down what the president has to say, and what he had to say. We'll take a look at that. I'm really excited to hear what the president has to say. I don't think you can't understate how important this State of the Union speech is for the president. He's got this midterm election coming up this year, and what I'm particularly looking for from the president tonight, how he's specifically going to address the problems that have arisen from Obamacare since October. I'm sure we can expect him to highlight some of the positive stories, but you have to imagine that the president has to, in some way, address the failures of the Affordable Care Act so far this year. He's not going to be able to do kind of a kiss and go on the subject as he has done in previous years in the State of the Union. Of course, we know he's going to mention executive action. Also interested to hear what he's going to say about immigration reform. There's that deal supposedly in the works in the House. How is he going to address that? Is he going to give Speaker Boehner kind of a tip of the hat? And how that's going to progress. What's the most thing? What are you most looking forward to seeing tonight,
I
Steve?
think on Obamacare, the only negative he'll allude to in passing is the tough rollout, but then spin it immediately to say, despite that, we have X amount of million people who signed up or enrolled. When in fact they don't know how many people they have signed up or enrolled, because they've admitted as recently as a couple of weeks ago that they have numbers, but it's for people who, for instance, go shopping and put stuff in their cart but don't know if they actually checked out and paid. So I don't think he's going to take responsibility or give any downside. I respectfully disagree with you. It's just not who he is. On immigration, well, first of all, I think it's very counterproductive. Unfortunately, in my view, because of the weak Republican leadership who are living in a fantasy land, they might attempt to pass some kind of immigration reform. But the president has an opportunity here to say, bipartisanship has worked. Recently, we had a budget deal which I didn't like, but he could say we had a budget deal. And he could say we're talking about immigration, and we might do that. Instead, what did he do today? He unilaterally increased the minimum wage of federal workers. He's going to highlight that and tie it to making villains out of the Republicans who, are against raising the minimum wage for the rest of the nation.
Well, that almost seems like the president had to do something to kind of, we've heard a lot about this, supposed year of action. We haven't seen a lot of action from the president. And, he brought up the minimum wage last year during the State of the Union. And it almost seems like this was just a play that they can kind of make this threat of using the phone it'll be interesting to see how the president phrases that as well.
Yeah, no.
And also, you mentioned the enrollment difficulties with the president. One of the things that I'll be looking for, kind of reading between the lines, is if the president is going to use this opportunity to try and sell this. If he knows something about these enrollment numbers and the demographics being skewed in a way that's detrimental to the viability of this law, making things even worse than they already are, I would have to imagine the president is going to use this opportunity when he's speaking to the nation, maybe to make a sales pitch. So that's what I'm going to be looking for, to read between the lines. Hopefully, maybe we can gauge to see just how desperate the situation really is.
Right. Well, I think he can make all the sales pitches he wants, but the fact of the matter is, if he was going to be honest with the American public after lying to them for 3 years about keeping their doctor, as a matter of fact, I have a story in front of me, John, about cancer-stricken Senator Tom Coburn.
I was just reading this story before I walked in here.
Revealed today that his health insurance under Obamacare does not cover his oncologist. Now, he's well off enough to be able to, I guess, still get the care he needs. He says he's still getting excellent care. But, imagine the person who's scraping and having a hard time, and anybody with cancer or any illness, you establish a relationship with your doctor. And so not only can't you keep your doctor and insurance if you don't like it, but even if you're dying of cancer or have cancer, you can't keep your doctor necessarily in that circumstance either. So my point is, after lying to the public for 3 years about things like that, what he should be saying is, look, 80 to 100 million of you by this time next year will have lost the insurance you have now. So
and that's the thing, he has that. He has the lie of the year. He has some other statements that are questionable, to say the least. And also, it's going to be interesting to see if he addresses that. His credibility certainly has taken a hit, and I think he, to some degree, has to reach out to the American public tonight and try to right the ship, so to speak, on his credibility, because it's, I think the people who are tuning in tonight are going to be tuning in with a skeptical ear, for
Absolutely. Sure. So you're going to start it off at 8:50 p.m. Eastern, correct?
Yeah, we're going to start it off once we start getting the feed. We'll bring people, hopefully, a live look inside the chamber there, and we'll listen to the president, see what he has to say, and then we'll break it all down for you with Dick Morris and Alan West.
Well, it's very exciting to be a part of it. Congratulations on that, and I'm sure you guys will do a great job, and I hope millions of people tune in. I'm sure they will, and thank you, sir, as always, for joining us.
My pleasure, Steve. Hope to talk to you again soon.
All right, you got it. John Bachman, ladies and gentlemen, Newsmax's own John Bachman, here on the Steve Malzberg Show. So, again, don't forget, that's going to start at 8:50 p.m. tonight. You just log on, newsmaxtv.com, where you're either watching this show right now. If you're listening to this show, then do it. And also, you could, watch it on your free Newsmax TV app from the App Store at Apple, and for your iPhone and all that kind of great stuff, Roku, the whole thing. Newsmaxtv.com, 8:50, John Bachman, then the State of the Union, then the post-analysis with John, Dick Morris, and former Congressman Lieutenant Colonel Alan West, who will join us later in the show. When we come back, by the way, Senator Orrin Hatch and two other senators have an alternative proposal to Obamacare. Orrin Hatch will join us in just a little while. When we come back, Ed Rollins, senior political analyst for Fox News, former national campaign director for Reagan Bush, 84, and Mike Huckabee. He'll join us, talk about what we could expect tonight. Steve Malzberg Show, Newsmax TV and radio.
The Steve Malzberg Show.